Some killers hide in the shadows. Others hide in plain sight. They shop at the same stores as us, smile at their neighbors, and ride the same buses. But when the mask slips, what is revealed is true horror. This is the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Cannibal. A man whose crimes were so disturbing, they redefined the meaning of evil, cannibalism, necrophilia. 17 lives stolen. Today, we step inside the mind of a psycho killer. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His early years gave hints of what was to come. He was a quiet child, shy, often isolated. His parents' marriage was turbulent, filled with constant arguments. By the time Jeffrey was in his teens, the family had broken apart, leaving him feeling abandoned and unwanted. But even before that, Jeffrey showed disturbing interests. He collected dead animals. He dissected them, studying their bones. To others, it was strange. But to Jeffrey, it was fascinating. As he grew older, so did his loneliness. By high school, he was drinking heavily, even sneaking alcohol into class. Behind his quiet demeanor was a growing storm. In 1978, just weeks after graduating, Dahmer committed his first murder. He picked up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks, lured him home, and killed him with a dumbbell. He crushed his skull and disposed of the body. For nearly a decade after, Dahmer did not kill again. But his fantasies grew darker, until finally he could no longer control them. In 1987, Dahmer claimed his second victim. From that point on, the killings became more frequent. Over the next 5 years, mostly in Milwaukee, he murdered 15 more boys and young men. Many were lured from gay bars, bus stops, or the streets. Dahmer would offer money, alcohol, or simply companionship. But once inside his apartment, they never left. He drugged them, strangled them, and then carried out unspeakable acts. Body parts were preserved. Skulls were kept as trophies. And in his fridge, police would later find human remains. Even more disturbing, Dahmer experimented on some of his victims. He drilled holes in their skulls, injected acid or boiling water, attempting to create a living zombie, someone who would never leave him. To Dahmer, these were not just murders. They were his twisted way of controlling life and death. A ritual of loneliness turned into horror. What makes Dahmer's story even more chilling is how many times he nearly got caught and slipped away. Neighbors in his apartment building often complained of strange smells, screaming, and the sound of saws at night. Dahmer would tell them it was spoiled meat or pets. The police accepted his excuses. In one infamous case, a 14-year-old boy escaped Dahmer's apartment. He was found wandering the streets, drugged and injured. Neighbors begged police to investigate. But when Dahmer calmly explained it was just a domestic dispute, officers returned the boy straight back to Dahmer. That boy was murdered shortly after. It was a mistake that shocked the nation and revealed deep flaws in the system. So what drove Jeffrey Dahmer? What created the monster behind the quiet face? Experts say Dahmer was not motivated by hate, nor by simple bloodlust. He was driven by loneliness. He admitted he killed because he didn't want people to leave him. In his twisted logic, death was not an ending, but a way to keep his victims forever. Cannibalism, necrophilia, and experiments were all attempts to hold on to what he feared losing: companionship. Psychologists describe him as a classic psychopath, lacking empathy, remorse, or fear. Yet, unlike many serial killers, Dahmer sometimes admitted regret. He once said, "It was never about hate. I knew it was wrong. I couldn't stop." A chilling reminder that even monsters sometimes know they are monsters. In July 1991, Dahmer's world collapsed. One of his intended victims escaped and flagged down police. When officers entered his apartment, they were horrified. Photographs of corpses, preserved skulls, human remains in the refrigerator. A true house of horrors. Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested and confessed in detail to his crimes. In 1992, he was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms. A 16th was added later, but Dahmer's life in prison was short. On November 28, 1994, he was beaten to death by a fellow inmate. His story ended violently as the lives he destroyed. Dahmer's crimes may not have claimed the most victims in history, but their nature, the cannibalism, the necrophilia, the failed police investigations, made him one of the most infamous killers of all time. His case forced the world to ask terrifying questions. How many monsters walk among us? How many chances do we miss to stop them? And are killers like Dahmer born evil, or shaped by the darkness of their world? Some mysteries will never have answers. But one truth remains: the face of evil can be ordinary until the mask falls away. If you found this story chilling and want to uncover more forgotten crimes, mysterious disappearances, and history's darkest secrets, subscribe to History's Dark Secrets, because the past is never truly gone. It waits in the shadows.